Hi, this is Bob Mason from FX Empire and welcome to the weekly tech review. This week we're looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum. Last week a lot of the majors were under pressure. Next week's presidential election could put cryptos and the broader asset classes under pressure again. Risky assets could be taking a dive. So we'll be looking at the moving averages, the MACDs and the support, resistance and pivot levels. This is tech analysis for the week ending the 8th of November. Looking at Bitcoin against the US dollar, we're looking at the daily candlesticks here. It's a bearish start to the week on Monday. Going to need to see Bitcoin avoid a fall through the pivot at 13,531 to support a run at the first major resistance level sitting at 14,280. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Bitcoin to break out from last week's high that was at 14,055. That is a major resistance level on the trend analysis. So barring a broad-based crypto rally through the week, that first major resistance level and last week's high should cap any upside. In the event of another breakout, we've got the second major resistance level sitting at 14,805 that will likely come into play. Bitcoin will need to break out from 14,500 levels, however, to then target 15,000 levels. A fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 13,006 into play. Barring an extended sell-off in the week, Bitcoin should steer clear of sub 13,000 levels. Second major support level sits at 12,257. Looking at the MACDs, we're seeing a narrowing of the bullish histograms, but nothing to suggest a bearish week ahead. Need to keep an eye on that MACD, and if there's any hint of a bearish cross, then you can expect support levels to come into play. On the EMAs, we're seeing the 50 pull away from the 100 and the 200, which supports further upside in the week. So avoiding the pivot at 13,531 and breaking out from last week's high 14,055 would bring resistance levels into play, and the bulls would then target 15,000 levels in the week. Moving across to Ethereum against the US dollar, it's a bullish start to the week on Monday morning. Going to need to see Ethereum avoid a fall through the pivot sitting at 394 to support a run at the first major resistance level that's sitting at 415. Going to need to see support from the broader market for Ethereum to break out from last week's high that was at 411.77. So barring an extended rally in the week, expect that first major resistance level and last week's high to cap any upside. On the trend analysis, we've also got a key resistance level at 421.47 to pin Ethereum back. In the event of a breakout, could see Ethereum test resistance at 430 before any pullback. We've got the second major resistance level sitting at 432. A fall through the pivot level would bring the first major support level sitting at 376 into play, and we've got the 38.2% fib at 367 to limit any downside. Barring an extended sell-off in the week, Ethereum should steer well clear of sub 360s. The second major support level sits at 356. Looking at the MACD, we've got a narrowing of the bearish histogram, supportive of the early move upwards at the start of the week. Need to keep an eye on that though. We're going to need to see further narrowing of that bearish histogram and a bullish cross to support further upside. On the EMA, we're seeing a slight pull away by the 50 from the 100 and the 200, also supporting the early Monday morning gain. So key through the early part of the week, avoid the pivot at 394, break out from last week's high at 411.77 to bring the major resistance levels into play. Failure to do that, and you got that first major support level and the 38.2% fib that will come into play.